Picture this. It's Sunday, the house smells like coffee and nachos, the kids are arguing over which jersey to wear, and you and your partner are suddenly arguing about the season tickets. One of you blurts, "If we split, you can't keep taking the kids to all the games." And the other fires back, "So you're just gonna take the tickets and my Saturdays?"
Welcome to Danny's Den. Let's chat.
That scene, it's real, and it's messy, but it doesn't have to end in a courtroom fight or a ruined Sunday ritual.
Today, I want you to walk away with 3 practical prenup moves that protect the kids, preserve game day traditions, and keep your relationship from turning every disagreement into a crisis.
First, let's clear one big myth. Prenups aren't just about money. They're planning tools.
They help couples decide ahead of time how to handle the emotional logistics after a separation, especially when kids and rituals like game day traditions are involved. Important legal note. A prenup can't decide custody for you. Judges make custody decisions based on the child's best interests, so no, you can't write a clause that binds a court. What you can do is reduce conflict and create clear plans that protect routines. Okay, 3 moves I love. 1. Custody-neutral parenting time provisions. 2. Clear ownership and use rules for shared sentimental items, season tickets, memorabilia, the tailgate cooler. 3. An expense-sharing plan for child-related costs, so nobody wakes up to a surprise bill after a separation.
I can almost hear you asking, but will that hold? The quick answer? It can't bind a judge on custody, but it gives you rules to follow that usually keep arguments out of court.
Let me give you a sample clause that demonstrates custody-neutral wording. The parties agree that parental time shall be decided based on an existing parenting schedule, with holidays and major events allocated to preserve continuity of the child's routines, subject to modification in the child's best interests. You might be thinking, can that clause be enforced? It won't lock a judge's hand, but it sets expectations and creates a documented plan you can point to when emotions spike.
Another practical line for keeping traditions: season tickets and associated game day privileges shall be managed to minimize disruption to the child's traditions. Parties agree to prioritize consistent access for the child to family game day experiences and to resolve scheduling conflicts through mediation. That last bit, mediation, matters. It turns a scream match into a path with a referee who's trained to keep things fair.
Now, what not to do? Avoid language that tries to trade parenting time for money or attempts to bind a court on custody. Also skip vague promises like, "We'll split everything fairly." Specific beats win here.
Let's get into season tickets, because I know some of you are already thinking, but what about the tickets? One approach, create a usage schedule. Example, allocate a set percentage of home games to each parent, or alternate weekends with a shared calendar so the child's access stays consistent. Another option is a game day continuity clause that treats tickets as shared, but prioritizes the child's experience at key home games. That keeps the ritual intact without turning tickets into a prize in a divorce battle. Memorabilia, jerseys, signed balls, the program from your first stadium date, those are emotionally charged. A useful clause lists high-priority items and either assigns them with shared visitation rights for certain events or places them in a small family trust for use at kid-centered occasions. And for money tied to the kids, try something like, the parties agree to split extracurricular and sports-related expenses at a specified ratio, with an escalation clause for significant program costs or inflation. Specific ratios and examples prevent future fights. I get it. Bringing up a prenup can feel like handing someone a breakup script. So let's talk language that softens the blow. Try starting with values. I love our family rituals, and I want to protect them for the kids no matter what happens. Can we talk about a plan that keeps those intact for them? That frames the conversation as protective, not punitive. If your partner gets defensive, pick a neutral moment. After a walk, over coffee, not right before kickoff. Offer this script. This is about making sure the kids can keep traditions like game day rituals. I want us to decide together how that works before emotions run high. If you hear a hard no, take note. That's a red flag worth exploring with a counselor. How you argue about planning often predicts how you'll co-parent. Quick checklist before you see an attorney. Gather season ticket agreements or screenshots, appraisals or receipts for memorabilia, copies of any parenting plans or court orders, a list of regular child expenses, and a short note describing the family rituals you want preserved. Helpful questions to ask your lawyer. Can a prenup reference parenting routines without attempting to set custody? How does state law treat tickets or memorabilia? Would a small trust or designated account help protect sentimental items for the child? A few calming, practical reminders. Be honest about emotions. This is awkward because you're planning for pain. Keep fairness front and center. People accept plans that feel balanced. And finally, remember these documents are tools to reduce conflict for the kids, not weapons to win fights. Before we close, quick throwback pick. Something that played at tailgates growing up. Sweet Caroline. It's silly, it's sticky, and rituals like a sing-along or a playlist before a game give kids predictable, comforting anchors when things change. So, recap in one line. Treat a prenup like a parenting playbook. Use custody-neutral language that prioritizes routines. Be specific about tickets and memorabilia. Practice empathetic scripts to bring it up. And gather your paperwork before you talk to an attorney. If this helped, subscribe to Danny's Den so you don't miss future episodes where law, love, and sports collide. Share it with a friend who collects tickets or bedtime routines. Let's keep the rituals going. Let's chat. Thanks for listening to Danny's Den. If you have a specific legal issue and want help, send me a direct message or email Danielle@thelegalassistantcenter.net to book a free 30-minute legal consultation to see if I can assist. You can also drop a comment in the episode threads. Let's chat.